Hi, John.
Hiya, Killian.
Today we're going to taste Mescan's Red Tripel.
Ooh, a triple. Isn't that a Trappist style beer?
Certainly is. The Trappist monasteries in Belgium, of which there are 6 in the country, make all of their money from brewing beer, and they use that to fund their good works. And the triple style is really the style for which those breweries became famous. So originally triples would have had triple the amount of grain compared to their table beers.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And aren't they usually more of a lighter golden colour though?
Traditionally, triples were golden in colour, but when we were making ours, we decided as a point of difference to use some dark malts to give it a amber colour, and we felt that the kind of caramel aromas and flavours that came from that kind of complemented that style and worked well with it. Yeah.
You know what we should do? Is give this a taste.
Let's do that.
Quite nutty and quite sweet.
Yep, it has a touch of sweetness for sure. It's actually also one of our most bitter beers, but because the sweetness from the from the type of mashing schedule that we use when we make the wort, because the sweetness that's left from that is complemented or counterbalanced by the bitterness of the hopping, it doesn't, neither stands out too much, but for sure there is a lot of body in the beer, a hint of sweetness, a lot of fruity flavours and aromas. So yeah, it's a beer with a lot going on.
And perfect for this time of year too.
It's a ideal winter beer, and very good as a beer that you'd have, say, at the end of your meal, or to complement sort of winter type foods, so stews and pies and any dish where a little bit of sweetness would be appropriate.
And what if you had to pair it with desserts? What kind of thing would you be looking at?
Well, it's where it would really come into its own would be with cheeses. So the little bit of sweetness from this beer and the fruitiness kind of complements the probably more chalky, slightly sour flavours that you tend to get in cheese.
You know what we should do is try tasting cheese with the beer.
Well, as it happens,
yeah,
we have a selection of Irish cheeses curated for us by Alan in Savour Fair in Westport, who has a fantastic palate, and he chose these cheeses to complement this beer. So these are cheeses which will especially work well with this beer.
Okay.
So let's have a nibble.
Let's give it a bash.
I'm not sure where we should start.
No way, because we're cutting. So let's try these cheeses.
Absolutely. It's Christmas, and everybody loves a cheese board at Christmas. And in this country, we are lucky enough to have literally dozens of Irish farmhouse cheeses. So there's no need to go for big brand names or imported cheese. We have it all here, and thanks to Alain in Savour Fair, we have a selection of just 3, because we could literally taste cheese for a month here, I think.
I think we'd like that.
We probably would. Anyway, we have 3 to try tonight because Alain selected those to go with as beers that would complement the Red Tripel.
Yeah.
As cheeses that would complement the Red Tripel.
There we go. So what are we going to try first?
Well, we should start, I think, with the smoked Millings. That is from, I think, possibly the oldest Irish farmhouse brewery in the country. So Millings in Cork, Madeira Peninsula, make this cheese. So let's have a little taste. Oh.
Very cheesecakey.
Absolutely, yeah. Tastes like a baked cheesecake.
That's exactly right.
It's smoked, but the smokiness is really kind of subtle. Let's try it with the beer.
And what's this over here?
Oh, very good. some savoir-faire chutney. I actually forgot about that, so let's have it go there.
What is that, a plum chutney?
I think that is a plum chutney. Oh my god.
I know.
So, this is the part about food pairing that's exciting. You taste something on its own, really, really good. You try it with the beer, add another element, add the chutney. It's like all these things working together, and the total experience is greater than the sum of the parts. It's like they just play off each other. We've got the kind of minerally, chalky, slightly smoky quality of this with the sweetness and the fruitiness of the triple, and they just bounce off each other.
I like that the sweetness of that kind of balances off the sweetness of this with that earthiness.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Okay, shall we try the next one?
Why not? What is it?
This is from County Galway. It's Calmore Farmhouse, Kilmalachan, and this cheese is, I think, a minimum of 10 months old before it's released.
Looks like it.
So it's from cows that are grazed. Actually, I think all of these cheeses are from cows that are grazed on spring and summer pastures. So the cattle that produce the milk that leads to these cheeses have they follow a kind of natural following the seasons lifestyle, and they are productive during the time of year when it's natural for cows to be productive, so they don't have to be, artificially stimulated to produce milk in the winter. So let's try this one.
And with this being quite a matured cheese, I think that'll offset with a beer that's been matured for quite a while.
Yeah, that's actually a brilliant synergy there. This cheese has a minimum of 10 months in its development, as does the Red Tripel. So Red Tripel is one of our higher alcohol beers. It's about 8%, I think. And those beers that we make up with that level usually are matured for 6 to 9 months before we bottle them. So yeah, I'm keen to see how they go together.
That comes off with a nuttiness that works really nicely.
Very much so. Yeah, it's got this kind of creamy, nutty character. Really, really good.
And it's a hard cheese as well.
Semi-hard.
Semi-hard, okay.
So we could make a very rude pun about that, but we won't.
I don't see why not.
Let's try it with the chutney.
I did try it with the chutney already, but I'm going to
try
it again. Is that good? But I like that once again, that earthiness with the red.
Yeah, and there's a kind of
and the chutney.
There's that slight, a very intensely savoury character of the cheese plays well with the slightly sweet character of the beer. I think that's the reason why the Red Tripel is a good cheese beer, because I think in pairing you either try and line up a sweet with a sweet or a sour with a sour, or you have the contrast. And in this case, I think it's the contrasts that are making the combination work well.
Would you categorize this as almost a dessert beer?
I would. Yeah, you could. The Tripel is a beer that you could have as a dessert drink on its own, but it works extremely well as a beer with a sweet dessert in the aligning flavors thing, or with a cheese board in the contrasting flavors kind of scheme of things.
I think cheese and beer are definitely lovers.
Big time.
All the time. It works, like you say, that savoury character, especially with the stronger beers, the sweeter beers. That balance is just unbelievable.
Well, really liking the kind of maltiness. There's a kind of malty flavour in the cheese, and there's a very strong malty character to the beer.
I hear you. I don't know if you guys can see at home, but there's such a nice marbling on this cheese too, which is really good. And look at that. Proper.
Yeah. Yeah, and for this one in particular, I think the rind is part of the beauty.
It absolutely makes
you
a
would-
whole different factor.
Yeah, you don't want to peel that off. That's part of what you want to eat.
And it's got a nice bit of crunch to it. As well. It's fantastic.
So, last of the three is Cool Dolce from Blues Creamery in Tipperary, a county for which I have a strong affection because I got married there.
No.
Actually, in the Glen of Atherlow, where this cheese comes from. So, Blues Creamery make cheeses from a number of local suppliers, but all within that catchment area. And well, let's taste it before we say too much.
What kind of style of cheese would you say this is?
So it's a blue cheese, but it is entry level blue. So it's a blue cheese for people who don't
Not
like,
overly strong.
Yeah, exactly that.
And it is very soft as well. It's got a lot of texture to it.
Oh wow.
And I can see the blue lining in there as well. Oh my god. And that's nice. That's got that salty, soft, really, really creamy texture to it, which is going to go unbelievably well, yeah. That's nice. It's like two opposing factors that just really work so well together.
What I really love is the way you've got this kind of sort of tingling on your tongue from the saltiness and the kind of slightly blue sourness, and then you drink the beer after that, and it's kind of like they fizz together somehow, and you can feel it. It's like a flavour explosion in your mouth. Really, really good. And there's actually a little bit of sweetness in that cheese too.
There is,
which
oddly enough,
chimes together.
It's really nice.
So those are just three of the numerous Irish cheeses. Get yourself a cheese board for Christmas. Make them Irish cheeses. Try them with some Irish beer, and have a very happy Christmas.
Sláinte.
Sláinte.